Right. So we were talking about doing the Jason Mraz song "I'm Yours," and as I was saying, I know a lot of people weren't at the last Monday's practice because of the storm and all that. But what I was saying was, the reason it was taking me a while was that I was struggling to make it work, basically, in a context that would be good for us. For a couple of different reasons, I won't bore you with the details here. But so in the end, I decided to go just with a different Jason Mraz song. Um, what's it called? Lucky. So basically, the reason I've got this one is because it's much more singable chorus. It's a much nicer sing along, and there's loads of room for kind of vocal trickery. It's a real challenge while keeping it relatively simple chord wise as well. There's D minor is slightly unusual, but and there's an E minor in there as well. But we're familiar with both of those anyway, and that's as fancy as it gets chord wise. E7 thrown in there as well. But where the challenge really is in the vocals. So I've put up two videos with a high part and a low part. So it's pretty much taken exactly from the original recording. I can't remember what's her name. The other singer. So her part is obviously the high part, and then Jason Mraz's part is the lower part. So, so obviously all the men will go for the lower part, presumably anyway. And I have a feeling that even the lower part might be a little bit on the high side for some of the men. But I've heard at least some of the men anyway going down to the lower octave of the part of their own accord anyway. So that shouldn't be a problem. And if it is a problem, we can sort that out on Monday anyway. So make sure everybody has something to do. So so you'll see there in the lyrics there the way some of them are crossed out. So one is high and one is low. So for the low part, the first verse isn't crossed out, and then that's fairly self-explanatory. Now, what's likely to be difficult, apart from the harmonies itself, because we're pretty much constantly in harmony, with the exception of the verses. Um, is the bridge. So you'll notice if you've seen both the high and low sheets that their words are arranged a little bit differently because it's what you've got there is canons, right? So she starts they don't know how long it takes. So now we've done that before. We've done it in Sloop John B. Hoist up the John B. Hoist up the John. So it's the same idea, probably a bit more tricky though, just in this particular context. But I don't think it'll be a challenge. It'll be difficult, but I don't think I think it's perfectly doable. So on every second on the in the bridge, the first and third lines are out of sync, and then everything else is. So they don't know how long it takes. That line starts in different spots for the high and low, and then you come back together for waiting for a love like this. Split up again for every time we say goodbye. Come back together again for I wish I had one more kiss or wish we had one more kiss, and then I'll wait for you. I promise you is together as well, but again in harmony. It's yeah, no, it's never the two parts are never actually in unison, singing the same notes. Okay, so that's so we'll go through that on Monday. But so you've got the low part video, the high part video, and I recommend listening to the original version itself. So then because there's no point in me mixing the two of them together. You can just hear that on the original recording of the song, the original video, on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you want to listen to it. Okay, so then ukulele wise, then for the verses, so for verse one, most of two, and three, not for four. We're doing this palm muting thing, this sort of choppy thing. So all I'm doing there is getting this kind of soft part of my hand here down on the bridge, just a couple of millimeters in on the strings there. Okay, so it's you don't want nothing. Okay, you don't want it completely muted. So enough that it's obviously kind of dampened, but not enough that you can't still at least make out the notes in there, right? So so then for the strum, so you're getting your hand across it like that. Now it's with this strum, it's all because you have to be stationary on it. It's all wrist and no elbow, right? So so you're coming in here now. What I'm doing for it is just you can put your thumb and first finger or thumb and middle finger together, and just have your middle finger going down on the strings like that. Or even you can just kind of flick your fingers as well. That's fine too. I'd recommend actually just putting your thumb and finger together. It's a bit more stable and allows you to kind of dig in a little bit deeper. to get a fuller sound. So that's all that is when I'm doing that on the play along videos. Um, as for the general strum, so you've got the bum ba da bum bum ba da bum ba dum ba. Okay, so again, just downs first, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your bass line, okay? So then after that, it's kind of a swung rhythm, okay? So it's not 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, and 3 and 4. It's 1, 2, and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. So it's that general vibe. So your basic strum pattern should be something like this. I'll just hold the A minor here. I won't change chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're just going to go up down at the start of every I suppose I should say at the end of every bar. Now you can add in, it's the one after the four is not the only one you can do. You can sort of start throwing in other little ands in there as well. In other words, ups in between the downs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's it. Strumming wise, chords, you pretty much know all of those. Um, just in case we haven't done D minor in a while, for anybody who's new, that's just basically just F. Um, bring back the middle finger to make room. Third finger, second fret as well on the second string down. There's D minor. Okay, sure. We'll see how we get on with that on Monday. So have a good look at it, and I do recommend as well listening to whatever part you decide. As for which one you're going to do, you can decide that for yourself. If you reckon you've got a high enough voice, then go for that. Now, as I said, the men obviously are going to most likely do only do the low bits, but given the disparity in men and women, if there are any women who reckon they could handle the lower one, with that's and as I said, it's not that low. That'd be good. Even if you're comfortable on the high one, I'd say we probably need a little bit more on the low end. So if you think you could reach the lower notes of the low part, then that'd be good if you could do that. All right, see you Monday.